I say sharing your life is something that Jesus calls us to do. Moreover, he calls us to share our lives with people who aren't necessarily in a position to repay us. So what does that mean? Well, recently I've embarked on a tutoring ministry. How do I find people who need help with reading? Well, they're all around. If you look at the statistics, the amount of illiteracy coming out of our state-sponsored public schools is astounding. So that you have people, by the time they get to college, are having to be put into remedial courses because they never really got the basics and the fundamentals of reading, writing, and arithmetic. Thanks to a friend who is a teacher in a public school, I let him know that if he ran into a family that had a student that was struggling and wasn't making it in school, but they were motivated in order to have this child learn, to send them my way. And before long, I got a call. Dad and Mom were not native English speakers, and their children were having some difficulty in school. So I started tutoring their son in reading. It didn't take me long to figure out that he didn't know phonics. I took 3 children of my own, plus others that I've tutored over the years, and I've taught people how to read. It's one of the most exciting experiences ever when the child or adult, because I've worked with adults as well, finally get it. They say, oh, that's what reading is. This has been going on for months now, and the young man is making steady improvement. At first, he would guess, and we would have the standing joke, you're a terrible guesser. Don't guess. It's much better if you try to sound out the words. And I made use of Sam Blumenfeld's Alpha-phonics reading materials, which is very straightforward, and it goes through systematically the various sounds that are encountered in the English language. Well, at one point, I could see a change was happening in this young man because he would start asking me questions like, what does that word mean? Or when I was going to help him, he'd say, no, 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 let me do it, let me do it. So what have I basically done? I've taken something that I know how to do very well, takes little to no preparation. To be honest with you, the hardest part was finding somebody who was willing to be helped. One of the things I've done to make it so that there had to be a personal investment from the person who was being helped, I told his parents, when they asked me, what do you charge? I said, I'll charge $5 every time we're together. And they would say, $5? That's so little. I said, yeah, I know. But here's my requirement. Your son has to be the one who pays me. And his father was delighted because he said, oh, he never spends his money. We'll have him use his money on this. So for the first couple of months, every time we met, he would pull out his $5 bill and hand it to me. What he doesn't know is by the time we finish it all, I'm going to take the money that he has deposited every week and turn around and purchase a Bible that he can read and tell him this is why I helped you learn how to read. Along the way, I've been able to share perspectives on parenting, perspectives on obeying parents, perspectives on how not to let your children talk back to you, because you see, I'm sharing my life with them. When you look at what Jesus said in Luke 14, he said, when you give a luncheon or a dinner, don't invite your friends or your brothers or your relatives or rich neighbors, otherwise they may invite you in return, and that will be your repayment. But when you give a reception, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed, since they do not have the means to repay you. For you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous. The fact of the matter is, this family would never have been able to afford the tutoring places where I live. Nor would they have the personalized treatment and somebody praying for them as a family and interacting with them because of what Jesus says. In fact, one day the woman said to me, why do you do this? And I said, I do this because of Jesus Christ. And she got tears in her eyes. And she says, I don't know much about that. And I said, well, if you hang around with me, you will. So I invite you. Tutoring ministry is great. If you know how to read, you can help somebody. And you can arrange it any way you want. I use the public library. What a great opportunity for kids, Christian kids who know how to read, who've been given a good education, to share their life. Trust me, at the end of the day, I feel I get much more out of this than I give. And that's just kind of the way God works. When you do what he says and you give in his name, it comes back to you manyfold.